Okay, looks like we're getting ready to get the stream started. Another unscheduled stream. Looks like there's nobody here right now, but that's okay. Hopefully we'll build in some people soon. Going to log into some old school RuneScape again and build my house, maybe work on some skills. Who knows, might even go fight something. Just having some breakfast while I play. Anyway, I've got it all set up for the stream board. So let's go ahead and log in. Okay. Oops. RuneScape has been updated. Amazing how many updates they go through. Okay. Let's see. Let's see here. Construction level is 18. And build tool space. Let's see. The next one is level 25. What do I got with me? Let's see. Let's see here. Get the money. Get the bars. The oak planks. Oh. Mm. Now I need to find some coal, I think. Let's see. How am I doing? Okay, I need chaos runes. Let's see. Got my fire spell. Okay. Okay. Oh, somebody's here. Hello, Electrum Blueweed. Welcome to my channel. Make sure to hit follow. Working towards affiliate here, so I'm trying to remind everybody. I'm just doing some skill grinding right now. I'm thinking about finding a place to go mine coal, I think. Um, let's see. Kind of got to search to find a good coal mining place. Let's see. Google coal location. Let's go RuneScape. All right. Let's see. And uh, uh, okay. I need a mining experience of 30. What's my current mining? 22. So I need to grind mining still. That's okay. I know where to mine right now to get some good mining experience. Let's see. I wonder if they have ore boxes in OSRS. Okay, doesn't look like it. Just checking to see if maybe they exist. Ore boxes existed in old school because they're really helpful in the new um, RuneScape 3, because I can carry 100 or so of the ore needed to make it. And I would love to get like a steel ore box for old school. There we go. Let's turn all notifications off. But and what is it? Electric tumbleweed, anyway. Uh, Welcome to my site. Um, Unfortunately, RuneScape is not the most exciting thing to watch, but sure seems to be the one everybody wants to watch. Um, a lot of it is grinding skills, though, which is, like I said, not the most exciting thing in the world. And the graphics aren't the best. See, what's my pickaxe? I need a better pickaxe. Let's see. If I can get between these two. I can go bounce between them. Oh well, I meant to get a better pickaxe, so well. What we got here? Um, Maybe for a little bit this time tomorrow, Snowman. Not sure. I mean, I have dialysis in the mornings on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I might pop in for a little time around 11 o'clock. It's 11:30 now. I get home around between 11 and 11:30 from dialysis, and then I try to log in for an hour or so. So I'll try. Welcome back, by the way. If I'm not on by 11, I'll probably be on by 12 tomorrow Central Standard Time. Like I said, right now it's 11:37 my time. Oh yeah, I'd love to take the host. Okay, I did some building on my house. Got a few rooms done. Now I'm working on my mining. Figure I'd grind out a little bit of mining just to get some extra stuff. I want to get my mining up to 30 so I can start mining coal. So I can make my own steel bars instead of having to buy them. I mean, I can make my own iron bars right now, but I can't make my own steel. But I'm at 23, so I'm close to where I can make coal or get coal. And I want to get my altar built in my house. That's my goal because I've got a bunch of wyvern and dragon bones I picked up, but I want to be able to get the full benefit from them. And supercharge my prayer. Yes, yes. You want to try a bite of this cereal? It's too soggy. There's milk in there. It's granola. It's good and it gets a little soggy. Try it. Try it. Oh, let's see what we got here. Is it 75 construction for the gilded altar? Well, it's a long-term project. What can I say? But you know, if you don't have goals in a grindy game like this, I mean, all you end up doing is grinding. So it's nice to have a goal, right? You bought a salad just for it, kid. So I'm gonna see if I can get actually a better pickaxe.
Yeah? No. Literally just said that's for today too. Literally just said that's for today too. But yes. But I said no because you weren't listening.
Let's see.
Now it's more confused. You said, can I have it? I said yes. You said, can I have it again? Okay. I said yes. The first time I did it. I guess you said yes. Can I have it a third time? I guess I didn't. I said no, so that you would stop.
What is the best pickaxe?
Take care of the can opener and then put that pan back over on the counter.
Oop, can't get that one.
Got nothing for you, Kitty.
Wow. Bronze, dragon, black. Look at the black pickaxe. I assume that's better than what I've got. Put that back. Put that back. Let's see if they even have them. Okay. Nothing like that exists. Mithril? Okay. So I probably want the mithril one then. Mithril pickaxe.
I don't think this had powder seed. So then it
Okay. Let's see. So I really want the mithril pickaxe. I really have to train agility so I can get more running speed.
may I eat my salad and then while that's
I'm trying to advance my skill as fast as possible, so I figured with the better pickaxe I could advance a little bit faster. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, good call. Always want to use the best gear. Uh, I've never done any of the agility courses in old school RuneScape, so I'm not even sure how they work. But found this is probably my best spot for bank to run distance ratio between where I can mine iron ore and where I can bank it. These two iron ore bundles, their refresh rate is almost perfect for it. Of course, I have my runes with me just in case anything tries to attack me on the road, so I can still cast my fire bolt spell. And of course, once I'm mining coal, coal will increase my experience that much faster because I guess it gives you 50 experience per, where it looks like iron gives like 25 or 35. I can't quite read it. It's a bit small. 25 mining. Yeah. It looks like it's either 25 or 35 is what this iron ore gives me. Much slower to mine though. Well, let's see. Yeah, I'm just figuring that iron ore is the one that's going to get me the most experience at the moment. Especially like I said, I've got this relatively close bank. Yep. Have a good sleep there, Snowman. And hopefully, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll try to log in as close to 11 o'clock as I can possibly get. I mean, like I said, sometimes I don't get home until 11:30 or so, my time. But I should be on by noon at the latest, which is 9 minutes from now, my time. So just to give you an idea. But yeah, you get some sleep, man. Thanks a lot. Hear that? Don't let me forget to try to log in tomorrow because I got an Australia buddy who's going to try to send me a bunch of people. Let's see. What we got there? Okay. I had already paid our Sprint bill halfway through last month, so it was paid 2, 3 weeks early. I might end up doing that again this month if I think about it. Yes. I'm still sitting not too bad. Let me see. Uh, mhm. I have 995 on mine right now. Yeah. I think the only thing I've got coming out anytime soon is storage because that don't come out till like the what is today, the 9th, in the next couple of days. I think it's the 11th or 12th that it comes out at the latest. Yeah, if you order it from Walmart.com, you should be able to. In fact, you should be able to get in-store delivery for free and just go pick it up at the store when you're ready. I can see that. I said I can see that. The difference. Um, grab me my a soda, Patrick. I put a couple of them in there last night. Yeah, I get you. You want the best computer you can get for the price, but you don't want to wait for them to have it in stock sometimes. All the time. Need to get you a Remembrall. The trouble is, I don't remember what I've forgotten.
Right?
I love that line
Right?
because you can totally relate to it. It's like tying a string on your finger.
I know, there's a thing. What the hell?
There's a string there. Why did I put that there? Now I need to remember.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, for me, I'm so busy going all burners fired for freaking work. I'm gonna need to put 50 aside for tonight. For
50 to 75 for dinner.
no, although I'll do that. So that's gonna cut into what I got. I've got no
I'm
for the chiropractor.
Oh, 50 for the chiropractor. Because you know we can spend between 50 and 75 depending on tip. Depending on tip on date night.
Put some aside for this year. That, I'll just for dinner. So that takes me down a bit. That's okay. I'm still over 900, and that's really all that matters.
Right.
So I'm not doing anything really quick after that. After that,
Yeah.
maybe sometime this weekend, and in fact, I might even just go and with dinner to do that with Jack. I got that.
Yeah.
And for my clothes, which I have to do, that's gonna be with Jack.
We'll do some grocery shopping this weekend, but
Yeah, that's the big.
luckily some of that'll come out of the food stamps. Uh, yeah, if my Australian friend brings me a good enough hosting size tomorrow, I might make affiliate.
That was nice.
Yeah, because he said he's got a pretty big stream he's got planned for tomorrow, and if he can plan it to end just as mine is starting, he can bring all of those people over. And even if, yeah, he can raid me. And even if they're only there for like a half hour or so, if there's enough of them, they'll bring the average up. And then I just need to get 9 more follows and I've got affiliate. And then somebody promised me a first subscription as soon as I got affiliate. So as soon as I get affiliate, I should start being able to make a little small residual amount of money.
We both have to find some way to make the physical stuff so that we can go back.
Yeah.
And my book,
Like I said, I don't see my Twitch stream taking off so much that I'm making enough to screw up my disability. So next Tuesday, I got to be up at 8 ish because I have a 9:40 appointment, but I scheduled it as 9 o'clock with my ride because I always schedule them early there. And then the next, I got to make an appointment with Chase at some point. Oh, it looks like somebody else came into the room. I've got 3 viewers again. Welcome. If you can, say hi. If you just got me streaming in the background, I understand that too. If you left me a note on one of the social media saying that, I would not have seen it right now because, of course, I'm in the midst of doing this. But I am trying to get my viewership up, so I do appreciate it. I need just 9 more follows and an average of 3 viewers, and I'll be at affiliate level. Just we're working on grinding out some mining experience right now. I need 30 in order to mine coal, so because I want to smith some steel bars. I've got my mining up to 27 so far, so I'm not too far away from that 30 mark, which is what's needed for coal. I will say mining is less tedious in RuneScape 3 because you can just click it and forget it kind of thing. Not only that, but with the easier teleporting around. getting between places to mine and places to refine the ore is a little bit easier in RS3, but that's why we compare and contrast games, right? A little bit more of my focus is, of course, on old school because, among other things, I've got bonds in old school. So I can actually play on the member servers and do some of the member skills. Let's see, what am I looking at for iron ore? 185 iron ore so far. Always gets slow when I run out of stamina. Uh, but got to keep those extra rune spaces open for teleports and for fire bolts in case I get attacked on the road. Luckily, I haven't been so far. Ooh, I got 5 viewers. Said if you can, toss me a hello in the channel so that I can see who it is. Also, if you're watching the channel, I'm going to go ahead and put up a link. I kind of soft sponsor all my shows by Extra Life. As you can see on my screen over to the side, underneath my streaming image of me is the Extra Life banner because Extra Life is part of the Children's Miracle Network. What they do at Extra Life is it's gamers and other nerds earning money for the Children's Miracle Network for your local area. And these are kids that are often in hospital bound conditions, cancer, diabetes, of high end diabetes, where they're stuck with a compromised immune system, often hospital bound, muscular dystrophy, uh, renal end stage renal disease like what I have, but as a child. But they're often stuck in the hospital, and especially during coronavirus, they're not as able to get visitors of their loved ones. And so the Children's Miracle Network helps those kids out by various things. And the Extra Life Foundation does gaming and streaming for gaming in order to raise that money, specifically in the nerd community, in the gamers and geeks community. Um, and what we do is we do a marathon stream 1 day a year. It's a game day for Extra Life, which is November 7th this year. And I will be streaming there a minimum of 8 hours, hopefully a 24-hour stream, but I'm not sure health wise how much I can make over that 24 hours. But I'm going to try to do at least a 6 to 8 hour stream, which I have managed before for Extra Life. Hopefully by then I'll be an affiliate. But anyway, giving to Extra Life helps those kids out, and I believe anybody fully involved with their community should give back and help charity. Speaking of charity, if you can see my shirt, let me so you can see. This is the Game Year 11 T-shirt for the gaming convention that I work with. I'm on the board, and we are under a 501c3 through the Springfield Regional Art Council. What we do with our group, which is called Eclectic Endeavors, is we try to promote the geeky arts. the nerdy and geeky arts as educational venues, because people don't realize that a lot of the members of our subcultures of gaming and cosplay and everything, we make our own costumes, we design comic books, we design video games. There's actual education involved in these nerdy outlets. And, it's also been proven and accepted through several councils like the Talented and Gate programs that games like Dungeons and Dragons and even video games and stuff are proven to help people's cognitive abilities, their problem solving, their socializing. People who have social anxiety disorders have found that games like Dungeons and Dragons and other fantasy role playing games have helped them get over those anxiety disorders. Even the ability to just communicate through a computer screen instead of in person, like for instance, streaming, has managed to help people with anxiety uh, get out and actually socialize with other people. True, it may not be face to face socialization, but it still increases their overall social footprint and allows them to interact with other people through things like streaming and online video games, especially things like massive multiplayer online systems like RuneScape. And so, what we try to do with Eclectic Endeavors is we try to encourage these various nerd hobbies, cosplay, voiceover acting, comic book artistry, artistry of any kind, graphic design, because you know you never know which one of our enthusiasts might become the next makeup artist for George Lucas, or prop designer for George Lucas, let's say, or the next video game designer for Electronic Arts or Blizzard, or anything of that nature, because these nerdy arts do encourage that. Even if they don't go into the field of one of these directly related nerdy arts, they're still learning, like I said, problem solving, out of the box thinking, and even more, they're learning from a subculture that's based around acceptance for people for who they are, not quote unquote what they are. There's a non-exclusionary bias that the nerd culture, we accept everybody. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, yellow, pink, chartreuse, or plaid. Uh, we don't care if you're LGBTQ. We deal with mind to mind communications a lot of times. In fact, when you're dealing on the computer, a lot of times you can't even see the other person on the line or hear accents or things of that nature. So it's more of a complete mental association, and that breeds acceptance, so that we accept people from all ages, creeds, colors, religions. Um, and that's the other thing that we like to promote with Eclectic Endeavors, is that we are an open, accepting, non-gatekeeping community. Um, and so I like to get involved with that. And so, like I said, I am on the board of directors for Eclectic Endeavors as one of the directors. I am the director of cross promotions. My job is basically to go out as an ambassador to other formats, other conventions, other events, and venues, and promote our endeavors, our eclectic endeavors, you might say, with their endeavors. So I go out to like libraries, cons, and other conventions in the area, and I manage the booth that we have at these conventions to try to get people to come to our convention. And in other ways, I come out to uh, game stores and libraries and stuff and do panels and things on Dungeons and Dragons, um, how to play Dungeons and Dragons, or how to DM a Dungeons and Dragons game, how to paint miniatures. I organize those kind of things as well. in an effort to expand our community. We want to grow this nerd community. It's now, as people say, it's called nerd chic anymore. Um, it's no longer a basement kind of activity where you know a bunch of thick bottle rim glasses nerds in their mom's basement or garage playing these games under very dim lights with nobody seeing. Everybody's playing these games. If you look at mainstream media, you've got actors and directors and stuntmen and wrestlers and pro sports athletes, all participating in these nerd activities. They're realizing now that this is a more acceptable um, culture than it used to be. The we're no longer just the kids that the jocks picked on in high school. I mean, some of us are the jocks. Hopefully, we weren't picking on anybody in high school because that's preferable. Bullying is never okay. But basically, what we're saying is this is no longer a satellite clandestine community. We're actually an open community with millions of members, not just thousands, millions uh, around the world. People playing. I talked to somebody earlier today who was in my stream from Australia, and he's a semi-regular at my stream, um, and he's looking to possibly send a raid over my way tomorrow, which is I'm looking forward to. So about 11 or 12 o'clock Central Standard Time tomorrow, I'm hopefully going to be streaming again, and that raid will come through at that time. So we'll get to see some people possibly from Australia, New Zealand, and that part of the world on those time zones as well, because it is such a universal thing, gaming. Uh, Now I could be talking to nobody because nobody's actually talking in the channel, but that's okay. I like the sound of my own voice. Um, and right now I don't have the sore throat that I was plagued with before I went into the hospital. For those who don't know, I did recently get out of the hospital. I was in there from a week ago, Thursday night. I was in the middle of my Thursday night nostalgia gaming stream, and I'd taken a break to go to the bathroom and then to get my bandage changed on my foot because I have a long-term wound that's healing ish. It takes forever to heal because of my diabetes and everything, but I've got a long term, and I haven't been going to the wound care doctors because of coronavirus. I've kind of cut out a lot of those extra appointments right now in my life, um, especially since I'm claustrophobic and can't wear a mask, the normal one that everybody wears. So it kind of restricts some of what I can do. But anyway, so we went to the hospital because my foot had swollen, and it turned out to just be water retention because I am a kidney patient and I do have that as a quite common thing. It just kind of depends on where the water settles in the body. If it settles around the heart, I could get a heart attack. So that's just as a possibility. And I did have one in 2016. It was actually on the 4th of July, 2016. I called the ambulance on myself and was unconscious by the time I got to the hospital. But that's just an example of one of the problems with kidney failure. But it had swollen my foot to the point where I was worried because I have lost all the toes on my left foot and the big toe on my right foot. And I didn't want to lose any more toes. Last time I had had my foot swollen that badly, I lost toes because it was because of infection. So I went in just in case. Now, it did turn out to not be infection, which is a good thing. They did put me on some antibiotics as a purely prophylactic measure, just in case. But all cultures came back negative, and the swelling actually did go down once I had a dialysis treatment. Even though they only took 2 liters of water off me at the hospital, uh, I actually have had better dialysis treatment since I got out of the hospital. It's taken more off because I can take 4.5 to 5 liters off at a time, and I've been a little bit over 5 liters over what's considered my dry weight, and that is kind of your goal when you're on um, kidney renal failure treatment, is to try to keep to your dry weight. You have to really limit your fluid intake. That's why you'll see a lot of times, I mean, right now I'm drinking a cream soda, but a lot of times when I'm streaming, you'll see that I'm crunching on ice. And people have asked, why do you like to crunch on ice so much? It controls my thirst, um, but still gives me that feeling of having like a drink, um, and stuff, because one of the side effects of diabetes, which is what caused my renal failure, is extreme levels of thirst. But ice, of course, when you freeze water, it gets bigger, and so it takes up more space. So a full cup of ice, if you just let it melt, will usually end up being a half to even a third a cup of water, depending on how much space is between the ice and the water. How big the ice chunks are and everything. But so chewing on ice makes you feel like, even psychologically makes you feel like you're going through more than what you're going through. Plus, it takes a little bit longer because you have to chew each piece of ice or suck on it till it melts. And so it takes a little bit longer to consume the ice that way. So when you do see me chewing on ice, it's because I'm controlling my fluid intake, um, because of my renal condition. And so that's really what we're going through there, and that's why you'll see me chewing on ice a lot of times while I'm streaming. But I do get asked that from time to time. Um, I do have a few different disabilities. I am disabled. You might have heard me talking to my girlfriend as in a sideline a few times about the fact I am on disability. So I am retired. All I do now is promote the gaming and other nerd communities like karaoke, as stuff to do in my free time now that I'm a retired disabled person, because I live on disability. I cannot afford to get a job that would mess up my disability because I do need regular dialysis treatments. I go for 4 hours a day, 3 days a week, and these are not inexpensive treatments. I mean, my insulin alone, um, a month's supply of it, if I didn't have my insurance, would be over $600. Same thing with my what they call my phosphorus binders, would be $700 for a 1 month prescription of the medications I need, and that's just two of the medications I get. So that kind of shows you that I can't afford, the way the system currently is. I can't afford to get off of disability. Um, but I try to do as much as I can within the disability system. Um, because I do want to work. I would much prefer making my money the old fashioned way, working for it, not stealing it, but working for it. I guess stealing it is one of the even more old fashioned ways, but uh, it's neither here nor there. That's just a very bad joke. Um, okay, I've got my smithing up to 30, so now I'm just going to finish up my bag worth of iron here. Then I need to find a coal location, and I thought I looked one up. Or about to do this. I want coal. Coal locations in old school RuneScape. There's the Barbarian Village mine has coal. Okay, that's good to know because that's one I know where it is, and it's not too far from where I'm at. Let's see. Got a bunch of spam email here. Just wanna make sure nothing. All of this is actually spam. Yep. Delete. Pop over to. Let's see. Ooh, what's this? Critical Role sent me something. Oh, a Todd McFarlane sculpted limited edition Mollymuck figure. Tea leaf 12-inch figure has now been announced. Mollymuck. Yes, as in Teleus and Jaffe. It's the presenting our limited edition, the Mighty Nines Mollymuck Tea Leaf 12-inch figure created with our friends at McFarlane's Toys. Molly comes draped in his signature multicolored coat and is equipped with two removable scimitars. Our Molly also flashes the four reversible iconic cards from his deck: the Eye, the Hand, the Judge, and the Tyrant, the Anvil, the Sword, and the Moon, the Mirror. He does this all while gracefully sitting up upon a 7-inch wood grain disc featuring the Critical Role logo. Available now from our US and UK online shops. Bring home the magic of His Majesty today. Ooh, and he looks pretty too. Well, as I'm on of course, a notify list for Critical Role, and so, and my girlfriend's favorite of Critical Role is Teleus and Jaffe, and so of course Molly Mook excites her because that's Teleus and Jaffe's character. So when I get information like that, she's excited about it. Just to kind of explain where we're going in some of these side tangents. Nobody's talking in channels, so I guess I can just ramble about anything I want anyway, and I have been. But yeah, so the fact that a new Molly Mook figure is coming out is quite exciting for people who are fans of Critical Role, the Mighty Nine, Vox Machina, um, and the Matt Mercer group of D&D players first introduced to people through Felicia Day's Geek and Sundry channel. It's no longer Felicia Day's channel. It's now its own separate entity. Felicia Day did get out of it before it was bought by Project Alpha, and went behind what it's called a paywall because Felicia had other projects that she was going to work on. But at the time, she was working with Geek and Sundry very closely with like Will Wheaton, they did a show called Tabletop, uh, things of that nature. So they oh wait, hold on, gotta put that gemstone away. I didn't realize I got a gemstone too. Okay, but yeah, Geek and Sundry is of course a channel here on Twitch that you can go to, and I will sometimes send a raid host over there when I end my stream if they're going on. Uh, Critical Role runs every Thursday night. Um, so, and they just came back last week. So that's another thing too. So if you're a fan of Critical Role, I'm a little behind, I must admit. Uh, but if you're a fan of Critical Role, and the character Mollymook especially, then you definitely want to watch the Mighty Nine. Let's see, where is there? Oh, there it is. Okay, I need to find clay. Let's see, what's that? Prospect. Coal, that's the rock I want. Let's prospect that rock too, because those are both coal. It's a perfect place to sit. Both coal, yep. I've got the minimum 30 it takes to do coal, so of course it'll take a little bit to mine it initially, but anyway, still nobody talking in the channel, so I guess either nobody cared about my announcement about Molly Mook or they just want to sit and listen today, and that's fine. Like I said, a lot of people could just be sitting and listening, have me run in the background there, and just helping my viewership go up. And I do expressly thank you for that if you are doing that. Um, I mean, it's not a lot to talk about because all I'm doing is grinding some skills out today. That's unfortunately a big part of what RuneScape is just skill grinding sometimes. So I'm just working on that right now. But the refresh rate on these ones kind of slow. There we go. Let's see. Might have to jump around just a little bit. Anyway, in other nerd news, because I do like to talk about various nerd news, they have finally, again, I must quote again, settled on a date for the New Mutants movie release. This time, August 28th is the prospective date. Of course, our last release date they gave us was April 3rd, I believe. But now, August 28th is the new target. Of course, that's partly depending on if theaters do manage to open as much as they're expected to open in the next couple of weeks. If not, they may end up going to one of the streaming services instead. Um, it's anticipatory that it'll probably end up being HBO Max that gets the initial stream. There's also talk of it possibly being Disney Plus. However, the contract between HBO and the original producers of the New Mutants does not actually expire till 2022, which means that in a lot of ways they're contractually obligated to give HBO, the streaming service, first crack at streaming of New Mutants. So chances are it may go to Disney Plus, but it's probably going to, if it has to hit a streaming service first, it's either going to hit Hulu or HBO Max first because they're the ones that have the streaming contracts with. Let's see, I've got a mysterious stranger here. Hey, would you like to come and perform a mime show? Here we go again. Okay, I got to remember. Got to remember how to do the mime show. Copy the mime's performance. He did a bow. Da, 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 nope, that wasn't it. He did kind of a come hither thing. Uh, Uh, um, let's see, coughed and oh, he laughed. Okay. Where's laugh? Climb up. Laugh. There we go. Scratched his head. Glass wall. Lean on air. Dance. Cry. Think. Let's you think. Uh, Cry. Dance. Think. Kind of trying to follow along with this mime. It's trying to remember. He laughed. Laugh. Come on, cheer everybody. Let's see. Okay, he tried to, let's see. Glass box, glass wall, lean on wall. Let's try. Up, can, not sure what that one was. Yeah, I'm not sure of these. Cry, okay. That one I can do. Yeah, sometimes you can't really see what he's doing. And it's really hard to read the font of this text. Yeah, Let's dance. Let's try dance. Yep. Okay, that was dance. Laugh. Laugh. I wouldn't do these except for the fact that they're usually good for some sapphires or something. Okay. I got it. I can now use the glass box emote. Is that all I get from that? An extra emote? That sucked. Of course, the last thing I did like that, they only gave me lederhosen, which you couldn't sell or anything either. So it's just an outfit. Haven't even checked to see if there's any decent stats on lederhosen to make it worth being worn. Probably not. Anyway, it does show that we've got 3 people in channel, one of which is probably just the bot or whatever, the phantom viewer I get quite often. But we had it up to 5 people there for a little bit. So hopefully that'll make my average above 3, which will help me get towards my goals here. Oh, we're up to 42 followers. So somebody else just recently followed me. I do want to thank that person and everybody who's followed me in my activity feeds. Let's see. Introvert looks like just recently followed me. And Kearns has followed me last night. Phantom Twitch Mod followed me last night a little bit too. So those are my most recent followers. I do want to thank them for following me because it's helping me get to my goal. 50 followers. I need 8 more followers to make it to the 50 required in order to get affiliate. And then I still need the average of 3 viewers, but you people in the channel right now, I'm at least 3 right now. So as long as we keep it 3 or above, it'll bring my average up. And I have had as many as 5 in here today. So it might help the overall average. Because I think I ended my show last night with a 3.6 average for the day. Uh, Now my overall average over the last 30 days is still something like 1.5. But if I get some of those slower shows to roll off and some of these busier shows to have more weight, I will get closer to making my goals. And like I said, my modest goal right now is just I've got a couple goals with the stream. Modest goals. First off, make affiliate. I've done all the other requirements except for the number of followers and the viewers and stuff. And I've only been streaming since April. So I'm not doing too badly as far as that goes. And I've only ever had one rated stream, and that was for 10 people. And I think my overall average for that day was just around 5 after everything was said and done. Um, but of course, that gets folded into the last 30 days worth of averaging. So the main goal is to keep everything above 3 because anything above 3 average for a stream is going to overall raise the average above 3. Since 3 is my goal, that means that 3 is what I want to try to keep as my minimum average. And then, because that's just how mathematics works. I don't want to, shouldn't even have to explain too much mathematics. A lot of, especially nerds, are really good at that anyway. But that's our goal here is to try to get my average up. And I'll talk and I'll ramble and, you know, bring up nerd news. Like I was just talking about the New Mutants coming out on the 28th of August. We're also we're seeing a great new renaissance of gaming and nerd shows in popular media today. Um, Try not to say that any louder right behind my broadcasting. Uh, but Now, anyway, we're having quite a renaissance of nerd based cultural shows being on TV and movies. What else can we talk about here? If you're watching Stargirl, that's getting to be a fantastic series. You can, of course, see Stargirl either on um, the DC Universe site or I think it's streaming on the CW site and at the CW television station too. I don't get actual TV. I do everything on the CW website or on the DC online website. So that's where I'm watching it. The new Doom Patrol came out last night, around midnight-ish, because it does premiere today. Every Thursday will be the new Doom Patrol. So if you're keeping track of Doom Patrol, that's on either HBO Max or DC Universe. And they're getting quite interesting. Now, Doom Patrol, just to warn people, is not for kids. There is some adult content in the Doom Patrol. So even though I know it's based on a comic book, be careful about what you let your kids see. as far that at least be aware. I mean, each individual parent gets to decide what their kid can and cannot see, but be aware of some of the adult, very sexualized content that you might find in um, a show like Doom Patrol. It's kind of like watching The Watchmen the first time that Dr. Manhattan goes striding around with his schlong hanging out. It's not necessarily what you want your teen girl to see when you take her to the movies to watch a superhero movie. So you just got to be aware that these unconventional nerd movies and stuff are out there now. It's like Deadpool. You don't introduce your 9-year-old to Deadpool necessarily if you don't want him talking foul language, because Deadpool is full of foul language. Um, just as an example. But regardless of that, let's see, look, we got up to level 31. Uh, mine with an adamant pickaxe too. Uh, Good to know. Let's see, because I want to go get an adamant pickaxe probably. Oh wait, there's where I want to go. So I can go get an adamant pickaxe and drop off my mining stuff. Like I said, I am streaming old school RuneScape for those not familiar with what it is I'm streaming. And it is a classic MMORPG, massive multiplayer online role playing game. Um, and by it being a classic role playing game, one of the things that means is it's a little bit grindy. You end up grinding and grinding. In this case, I am not grinding combat, which is what a lot of the games end up being a grind of. Instead, I am grinding skills. I'm trying to raise my mining skill currently in the game because I want to be able to make steel bars, uh, which is a combination of smithing and mining needed to be done. Mining to mine the raw materials for it, and then smithing to turn it into steel bars and then other things. Let's see. Ooh, my brick. Let's see. And I want to buy here. Let's see. Pickaxe. Pickaxe. And I want adamant pickaxe. And let's go ahead and put it at 2200 just to make sure that it gets bought. And because I get change back anyway. Go back here. Put the teak wood. Put the money. Put that pickaxe away. Yeah, I got the adamant pickaxe now, which is what I'm working with. I've now got some coal. Let's go mine some more coal. But anyway, like I said, we are grinding, which means a lot of running back and forth between mining locations. Let's see here. Luckily, I've got a bank really close to where I'm mining. Especially since you don't have enough stamina to really get back and forth extremely quickly. What I'm mining right now is coal because coal is required to make steel bars. you take iron ore and coal ore, combine the two together to make steel bars. And so that's what I'm currently mining. And I did just upgrade my pickaxe too. Then I will, after I get a goodly supply of both coal and iron, I will go up to the furnace and make some steel bars. And then I will take my steel bars and I will use some of them to smith some steel armaments in order to raise my smithing. But I will keep some bars aside too. I mean, I've actually got some steel bars that I bought directly from the Great Exchange. So it's not that I'm lacking in steel bars right now. But of course, every step gets me further along in making other kinds of bars to up my smithing skills. And so I am trying to grind up that smithing and mining skill set as best I can. I'm also been working on, for those that have been following me recently, I did buy a plot of land here in old school RuneScape. And so I'm building a house. And that has required me to have things like limestone bricks and steel bars and bolts of cloth and things. And some of those I'm just buying directly from the Great Exchange because I did luckily get quite a bit of gold at one point from a few of my viewers, and I do want to thank them for that. But I also want to gather as many of those resources as possible myself. Like, I can, of course, quick buy logs and planks and nails, but then I can make nails and planks and stuff by gathering the stuff myself. So it's really just a matter of time versus effort required. It's like, for instance, right here where I'm mining, I've got three sets of places that I mine coal right next to each other. Each is, because of the different refresh rates, I can more efficiently mine coal right here because of the fact that I've got three spots to do it. So there's always at least one spot that's refreshed and ready to go. So my mining activities are a little bit more progressive that way. Especially since, as I've got the lowest level of mine, well, I've risen my mining a couple points since, but I started with the lowest level of mining for coal, which is 30. I think I'm now at 31, maybe 32. And I am using the best pickaxe, luckily, which speeds things up, but it means that it's going to take longer to mine coal. Sitting in this chair for long periods of time does mean I need to pop my back occasionally. Oh, we're down to just 2 viewers. I'd like to up that to more again, though. That'd be preferable. Either that or log out of the stream pretty soon so that I don't lower my average. But I had it up to as high as 5 for a few minutes, and now I've got it down to 2 again. And I've been streaming for an hour and 37 minutes this time around. Um, so I'm debating whether I want to keep grinding and hope to get more people in to view the stream right now, or logging off and taking my average better right now before it starts going down again, or what have you. Kind of a flip flop. If you got more friends that can come, if you're viewing me and you've got friends that you can drag in to come view me, that would be preferable so I can keep playing for a little longer. Although at some point I will probably need to go take a bit of a midday nap. Being disabled means I also have chronic fatigue disorder and sleep issues, which means I'm lucky to sleep more than an hour or so at a time. But it means that in the middle of the day, I often need to um, take naps. Uh, Make me feel like an old person. I'm only 49. I may look older than the hills, but I really am not. I was born in 71, so I'm only 49 years old. I'm rather young, really, to even have a lot of the conditions I have. But I have chronic fatigue syndrome. I've got end stage renal disease, congestive heart failure. I've had a heart attack. I've got type 2 diabetes. I've got total neuropathy of my feet. I've lost toes, but yet I've never been in a war, so it's not any kind of war veterans injury. It's purely from actually the initial wounds that caused me to lose my feet were from frostbite blisters when I was a truck driver and it got infected. Um, but that's a long story. Anyway, uh, and I can ramble on long stories. I mean, I guess part of this medium of Twitch is all about hearing people's various long stories, right? We're just in here talking and finding something to talk about. And other than that, I'd just be grinding. And I have a tendency to get real quiet when all I'm doing is grinding skills. So giving me something to talk about that I can just kind of ramble with only half of my brain's function on it helps me, fill the air with something. As you can hear, I do not have the background music playing. I find actually the music for most of these games more distracting than encouraging because for one thing, I never know how loud it's coming through to you guys, and so I don't know how loud I need to speak to talk over it, and I don't want you straining to hear me over that music. So it's easier for me to just disable that music. It doesn't really help me focus on the game. In fact, if it wasn't for the YouTube copyright police dinging me for some of my stuff being when I moved it over to YouTube being pulled for copyright infringement, I would probably be playing stuff like Weird Al Yankovic and Cletus T. Judd and Ray Stevens in the background, or the Merkins, or something of that nature, uh, just to listen to my kind of music. Or I might be doing some, because depending on my mood, I might be running Guns N' Roses or Metallica or Quiet Riot or Cheap Sister or Twisted Sister, Cheap Trick. I'm sorry, I combined two bands together, but I could be running Queen or something like that in the background, Freddie Mercury and stuff, or I could be running the Eagles or CCR because I have a varied taste in music. Oh, uh, looks like we got a flood warning. Uh, McDonald County red 2000. Oh nope, it is a red. This is a amber alert. Yep. In Okay, good to know. Um, for those who are unfamiliar with it, although I don't think hardly anybody is unfamiliar anymore in today's day and age, an amber alert usually means a missing kid. And so, that being the case, it's kind of important to get the word out to be on the lookout, or what they used to call a bolo. Be on the lookout. If you ever watch those police procedural dramas, you always wonder what bolo stands for. Bolo stands for be on the lookout. Um, they want you to be on the lookout for, and then in these amber alerts, they'll usually tell you like a vehicle make and model to look out for because that's the last known vehicle make and model around the time when the child was taken. So one of the things we can do as a community is keep a lookout for when these kind of things happen. And so, yeah, so those, if you're within the sound of my voice, there was just a bolo alert. in the state of Missouri. And I'll even read the details because the whole point of Amber Alert is to get the details out. So I'm sure there's no copyright infringement there. It's McDonald County Red 2009 Ford Flex Missouri plate RA1J1L. So that's Roger Alpha 1, Juno 1 Lima uh, is the plate number. And the website you would go to is http://bit.ly/ capital M, little o, capital A, LERTS to let people know about this Amber Alert if you have any information. Or, as always, and since it is an Amber Alert, you can call your local police department with any information that you might have concerning that. But might as well get that information out while I am here, in case you're not near your phone and you haven't got an Amber, or you're one of those few people that doesn't have a smart phone, or you've turned off your alerts of that nature, which some of us do. Doesn't mean we don't. It's that we don't care about the alerts. It's just depending on what's going on. Like, for instance, the alert keeps coming in. If I was in the hospital where you wanted to limit kind of the disturbance area of this, you wouldn't want that alert to come through the hospital when you're got sick and elderly people trying to sleep and recover. Um, so there are quiet zones where you would turn these alerts off. I typically have them turned off or turned on silent myself for various reasons. And then, of course, there are people that are, listening to this through like some kind of radio station or whatever, kind of a Twitch link, but they're not allowed to have their phones at work. And so they're just listening to Twitch broadcasts like through like a smart TV or something but they would not have their phones on right now, so they would not see alerts. Like, for instance, my girlfriend works for a banking service, and so they're not allowed to have their phones at their desks. And but she could listen to like a streaming service like Twitch on the TV, and so by reading out that Amber Alert, I'm just helping get that information out. I'm going to get one more load of coal, and then I'm going to go try to refine my ore a little bit. And then after I refine ore, I will probably take a break, go take a nap. Then I always go to dinner on Thursdays. So if I'm not back before then, I do have my scheduled show at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I play from 9 to midnight. My nostalgia gaming show basically is every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 9 to midnight, every Tuesday from 5 to 7 p.m., and Saturday and Sundays from noon to 3 p.m. Uh, Central Standard Time. All times are Central Standard for me, is when I do the Nostalgia Gaming Show. Now, when I start alpha testing Fractured, which is I am an alpha tester for the Fractured MMO, which is a new game coming out. It's not nostalgia gaming, but my alpha testing supersedes that. So that means that when I'm normally scheduled to be doing my nostalgia gaming show, if the Fractured alpha test server is open, I will instead be alpha testing. That's just to let people know, so there's no surprise. Fractured alpha testing supersedes everything except my show on the RPG College. And even if that one's going slow or I'm not getting people in, I might switch that even to streaming alpha testing. But otherwise, all of my shows get superseded by Fractured alpha testing. And the current scheduled opening of the alpha server for Fractured is July 16th. So from July 16th on, most of my online presence will switch from RuneScape to Fractured, the new MMO coming out. Um, and if you want information on that, you can always type in channel. I'll do it right now so that you can see it. If the bot is active in channel, then you just type !MMO, and that will bring you a link, as I just put up in the channel, for Fractured, the MMO, so that you can keep up. I did not mean to do that. I'm not meaning to talk to her. Let's see. I want to be doing this, not that. Anyway, yeah, if you want to get in on the Fractured MMO, details for that is at that link I just had the bot share in channel. At any time, you can usually hit exclamation and a few different keywords to activate the bot. The bot's only got a couple of things in it right now. If you hit exclamation extra life, it'll send you to my extra life campaign. Exclamation Patreon will tell you where my Patreon page is. And exclamation MMO will, of course, tell you about Fractured. And I think those are the only real exclamation commands I've got loaded in the bot at this time. But I'm still new to having a stream, still new to having a bot. So I haven't given him a whole lot of commands as of yet. But that's kind of what my stream is dedicated to. So in addition to being dedicated to building the nerd and geek community, helping with extra life and stuff, I'm also trying to help with the development of the new Fractured MMO by uh, alpha testing the game, and more because they've given us permission as alpha testers to stream our alpha testing out to the public so they can get firsthand looks at some of our alpha testing, even though they may not be alpha testing themselves, but to get a taste before open weekends. Because generally speaking, during any of the alpha tests, and near the end of the test, they'll have an open weekend where there'll be anywhere from 3 to 5 days or so where anybody could log in, and it's just a chance to try it out. They're stress testing the servers, that way they get as many people on the servers as possible. And so even people who do not have alpha or beta testing accounts with the game can then get in. But before you get access to those open weekends, you can watch streams like my own, which will be here to share with you for the Fractured experience. It's a brand new isometric sandbox MMO. And what that means is, um, by isometric, it is not a leveling based gaming system. Your character does not have a level. You do not gain experience points. You're not trying to power level your characters and go through and be the most high level character with all the best gear and go out and just munch on the world at your leisure. No, in Fractured, all of the gear is player manufactured. You go out and you buy the different materials, or mats as it's usually called, and you construct the various equipment, and the equipment has a durability score, which means eventually it wears down, it breaks, and needs to be replaced. So there's none of this keeping the materials forever, getting the perfect gear and then just sticking with that. You might get the perfect gear combination for what you want to play, but you're going to need a source to keep remaking that gear, or you need to remake it yourself, because you're going to need to keep replacing parts of that gear. And this way, a person who just joined the game yesterday can play with somebody who's been playing for 6 months or a year and go out on the same adventure, and they're still on basically the same footing because there is no levels. There might be some swapping of some gear around to make everybody on the same page, and there'll be different builds. And the thing is, how you build your character and advance your character is as you go through and you explore the world and you fight different monsters and you discover different materials and stuff, you get what's called knowledge points. And at certain points, you get the ability to unlock talents and skills throughout the time there, and by killing a certain number of certain monster types. But after a while, every monster type gives you no more knowledge points, because you can go from 0% knowledge of that monster to 100% knowledge of that monster. Once you're at 100%, you no longer get anything, and that's for each individual type of monster. So like a regular wolf and a young wolf are considered two different monsters. So you can get 100% in young wolf, but then you still separately would learn wolf and get 100% in that. And then you take these knowledge points and you trade them in for skills and talents. And the skills include the spells and the combat tactics that you would play in the game. And that way you isometrically level your character up, and it is not dependent then on a leveling system in a traditional sense. You still have the ability when you come in, you make your character, you're eventually going to be able to choose race. Right now, while we're alpha testing, we're only testing the human race. Um, but you would get to choose from the races, and there's beastmen, and there's different archetypes of beastmen in the game. There's angels and devils, and then there's humans in the game. So, uh, so that'll be one of your choices. It'll be which race you want to start, and the race determines which of the three worlds you'll be on. Because there's the beastman world, there's the human world, and then there's the angels and demons world, and that is kind of how it works. So, let's see. Uh, let's see here. I want 10 coal, 10 steel, 10 more coal. Because I'm not sure, but I think I need 2 coal for each iron. I didn't said steel, I meant iron when I'm making steel bars. Let's see. Iron bar, silver bar, steel bar. Okay, you need smelting of at least 30. And what's my current smelting? That's smithing. Uh, I'm not sure what my smelting is. Okay. But let's see, we can make iron ore. You need a smithing level of 15. What is my smithing level? My smithing level is 12. Okay, so time to power grind my smithing levels. Send all those back, send all those back. So you want 10 of. Okay, so I need. Huh. So I need copper ore. Okay. Let's see. Switches to all. Eh, 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 eh. And that's what I want with the adamant pickaxe. Let's go get some copper ore. Magic, let's see. Lumbridge, teleport. It's one of the easiest places to get copper ore. You take copper and tin to make bronze. I've got some tin in the bank, but I don't have the copper. So what I need to do is get copper. And I believe these prospect as copper. Yep. So let's fill up my copper a little bit. So we'll take the copper and the tin and we'll make some bronze. And then we'll take that smithing skill, make some iron bars, and then take further smithing skill to make some steel bars. Like I said, it's a very, very grindy game, but that's what MMOs are. You're either grinding skills or you're grinding combat, but you're generally grinding in most MMOs. And that is kind of the advantage of Fractured, the isometric MMO that I'm getting ready to go into. It is isometric, so it's not as much about grinding skill levels and grinding combat as much as it is grinding materials, because you will still need to grind to get gold, and you will need to grind to get the various materials to make the gear that you want, or to get the gold to buy the gear that you want from other people who are making it and stuff. And you will need to go out into the world and you will need to fight to get the knowledge points to get your talents and skills to the ability that you want them to be at. But uh, in actuality, you're not going to be doing as much grinding though, because of the fact that uh, you're not grinding out levels. So that will be a thing. That's the other thing, is I'm not huge on quests. If anybody has watched me stream before, they always try to recommend that I go do a bunch of quests. I don't typically like to do too many quests. I will occasionally like listen if one of the NPCs actively comes up to try to recruit me on one of those little mini side game type quests, and I'll do that. And a lot of times that's good for like some sapphires or some gold or a rare bit of equipment or something. But for the most part, I do not do anything other than the initial tutorial quests in most games. For the most part, I might go and do an occasional quest, but I'm not as focused, because quest driven games are not my bag of tea. They're not my bag of spices, not my cup of tea. Um, it's one of the reasons I'm not a big World of Warcraft player. I was a big EverQuest player, and in fact, I was a beta tester on EverQuest. I used to play quite a bit of EverQuest. And in fact, I played it until it became kind of as quest driven as others, and they nerfed a lot of it. But one of the things I like to do is, when I do grind, instead of grinding levels and constantly going on raids and stuff, because I'm not a guild player, I'm very much a solo player in a lot of these games. Um, what I like to do is I like to grind skills. In fact, I wrote one of the initial platinum guides that was sold on eBay back in the day for EverQuest. Mine was one of the guides that was sold to basically make money out of the Quanos side of things. And I paid for my accounts after I got out of beta testing through that. Oh, cannot hold anymore. Okay, so teleport back to town. To the bank. Drop off some copper ore. downstairs. There we go. Okay, we were back up to 3 viewers there for a minute, but we're down back down to two. So my average is floating between 2 and 3. I do want to keep it as close to 3 as possible. So if you know more people to come in and stream, even if they just keep it running in the background, just to keep my viewership up, I definitely appreciate that because that'll help me reach affiliate sooner. The sooner I can reach affiliate, the sooner people can subscribe to my channel. And now I know subscription makes you think cost, but a lot of people out there have a Prime membership. If you have a Prime membership, a lot of people may not realize that with your Prime membership comes one free subscription every month through Twitch. It's called the Twitch Prime program. And so if you were to, yeah, and you can change that every month, month to month. So you can give that subscription to somebody as a show of support, and then next month give it to somebody else. And it's not costing you anything out of the pocket other than your Prime membership fee, whatever it is. And if you're a student, you're probably getting Prime at a big discount or free. But otherwise, you just move that subscription around and that will show different channels your support, and it will actually help them financially as a subscription in the affiliate program without it costing you any extra. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't go and actually pay to subscribe. And I think it's something like $5 to subscribe to a channel per month on a regular subscription without the free subscription. But all I'm really encouraging people to do is to use their free Prime subscription. Once I reach affiliate, that'll be my next goal. Because as I had started to say earlier, and I probably got sidetracked, that's easily done with me. Uh, I've got only a few modest goals for this channel. I want to, of course, spread information about the role playing game and the gaming industries and stuff to various people. Join the community and kind of get out there, especially while I'm locked down with COVID. I'm not able to do as much, so this is one of my outlets to help me with my socializing because I do like to socialize. I'm a very social individual. I have no shame, as my girlfriend would clearly tell you. She's over there yelling none, zero. I mean, because I used to have a show on Twitch called Quarantine Karaoke. I took the show down because of the copyright police not liking some of the music I was playing because it was copyrighted when I moved it over to YouTube. But one of the goals of that show was to try to embarrass me by getting me to sing an embarrassing song. And as my girlfriend's yelling back there, it's never going to happen because I have no shame. I will come up and I will say anything, do anything, and not bat an eye. Uh, I have no shame, and I never have. Those who have known me most of my life realize it's absolutely true. I will get up and sing in front of 50 million people, dance a jig, and do really good or really badly, and neither one is going to be any skin off my back. I have no problem. My girlfriend's the one hiding in the corner saying, "Yep, I'm with him." You talk to him. He's the front man. I just want to hide and disappear into the shadows. And I am very an outward, outspoken person. So, but anyway, but one of my modest goals for the channel is, of course, to get affiliate. Then the next thing is I just want to make a little bit of money on the channel, really just enough to support the channel itself and what I do with it. So, like, I want to be able to upgrade my microphone setup and things of that nature. I don't want to break the bank with a whole bunch of stuff, but I would like to get dual monitor support here. When we get into a bigger house, I want to set up my desk with dual monitor support. So instead of monitoring the chat with my cell phone, which is what I currently do, I can monitor it on a second monitor system, which is what a lot of the professional streamers out there are doing. They're using the extended monitor and dual monitor support functions of the computer, hooking up a second HDMI um, system that way. And that's perfectly fine. That's one of the things I want to do with my modest goals. And because that's all I really want to make of this is just enough to support itself. And then I would like to get, a new microphone with a filter and stuff so I can improve my audio quality a little bit. Uh, those are in my modest goals. The other modest goal I have is, like I said, I do support the Extra Life campaign as a charity organization through the Children's Miracle Network. And my modest goal there is to raise $1,000 within the year for them. I mean, I'd love to move that slider further, but my goal is only $1,000, which I think in a year is not much. I've made $25 so far, so but that's only my first donation to the cause. So I'm still very hopeful, especially since the main draw of the Extra Life campaign is game day in November, and we've got quite a ways until November gets here still. Although I gotta say, 2020 is speeding by at breakneck speeds. I mean, didn't you blink and it wasn't it 2019 just a minute ago? I could have swore minutes ago it was 2019, but now it's 2020. It's not only 2020, it is July of 2020. We're past the halfway mark in the year, and yet it doesn't feel like it's past 2019 yet. Um, but that's the thing, though, with it is in November. I'll be doing the stream for Extra Life, and I do want to make about $1,000. And the best part about it, and I don't know if I mentioned this in my earlier talk about Extra Life, and you can put an exclamation Extra Life in the channel to get linked to my Extra Life campaign from the bot. Just no spaces, is just exclamation point Extra Life, all lowercase, and I can even type it out for anybody who's interested. Uh, Extra Life, and there, as you can see, the bot is posting the link for the Extra Life account, and you can go there and you can support my Extra Life campaign, and that is good. And like I said, the best part about the Extra Life campaign for the Children's Miracle Network is the money does not go out to some big nebulous national fund, and then you never know where the money's going to go. The money from each Extra Life campaign goes to the hospital network locally designated by the person running the campaign. And I have designated mine as the Cox Medical Center here in Springfield. So that means children in Springfield are the ones that are getting the help, not children in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, or in New Jersey or whatever. Not that they don't deserve it, but this is showing support directly for kids in our local area. So it's very much local support. We're all about downtown local support here, especially with the heavy coronavirus hit. Everybody's trying to remember to support their local businesses, their local community. And this is one thing that Extra Life is great about, is that your funds, when you support Extra Life, go to a local chapter of Extra Life. So it's the Children's Miracle Network here locally. And I have, like I said the Cox Network is where I would send my funds. So that's helpful. But please get out and do help support your local community. Even with coronavirus out there, when you get a chance to, like, for instance, order food delivery or go out for that rare chance to go out, go down to the little mom and pops places and stuff. I mean, I know that the chains are convenient. It's nice to be able to run through a Taco Bell drive-through, and you do want to support those mom and pop franchisees that are running your Taco Bells and your McDonald's and your Jack in the Boxes and whatnot. And I wish there was a Jack in the Box here, and I wish there wasn't a McDonald's, but that's neither here nor there. Um, but support your local industry. Like, for instance, you'll sometimes see me doing my stream in my Chaboms t-shirt. I'm not wearing that today because it's in the laundry. I'm wearing my game t-shirt today. But Chaboms is a local spice shop. It's tea and spices. We buy all our teas and most of our spices there at Chaboms. And we definitely recommend you do that too. But the owners of Chaboms are local, and they also own 2 restaurants in town. And those 2 restaurants are called Van Gogh's and Cafe Cusco. Now, for those who are not in the know, Van Gogh's is a Dutch restaurant, and I can never actually pronounce it how you're supposed to pronounce it, something like Van Gogh or something like that. I'm terrible at it. I apologize in advance. But yeah, Van Gogh's is a Dutch restaurant. They have excellent Dutch cuisine. And if you go to Chabom's, make sure to ask the your server for a discount card for Van Gogh's because you'll get a 10% off your meal at Van Gogh's. Then, if you eat at Van Gogh's or their other restaurant, which is Cafe Cusco, you can take your receipt in to Chabom's and get 10% off at Chabom's. And so it's a cycle. Right now, Van Gogh's is who's getting their 10% off for restaurants, but Chabom's always gives 10% off at Chabom's if you bring in the bottom part of your receipt from either Van Gogh's or Cafe Cusco. So not only are you supporting uh, your local businesses, but also you're getting some deals out of it. Uh, you're getting some discounts, which, hey, who doesn't like discounts, right? Um, get those discounts in and take advantage of that savings, and that'll help you out. But anyway, Van Gogh's has excellent Dutch cuisine, especially their Dutch dessert pancakes. They do one I like that's white chocolate and blueberries. It's a great big plate-sized pancake, uh, strewn with blueberries in the middle and a scoop of vanilla ice cream and white chocolate sauce. It's delicious. My girlfriend likes to get the apple one, which has got the apple cinnamon on it, and it's the Dutch apple, and that's her favorite. And yeah, those are places you can go to get good food and support locally. Or you could go to Cafe Cusco. Cafe Cusco is a Peruvian restaurant. If you're not familiar with Peruvian food, it is in South America. It's the area around Machu Picchu, the mountain there. They do. Um, it's a Latin type of cuisine, but it's not Mexican food. First of all, it's um, it's Latin cuisine. It's got some similar spices to what you're going to find in Mexican food, but not as spicy, not as hot as say that. That's not to say that you won't get some dishes that might have a little bit of heat to them, but you're going to get a lot of cultural stuff. You're going to have rabbit, and you're going to have shrimp, and you're going to have dishes that are very similar to curries, like in your Indian and Thai cuisines, because of course both South America and Asia are heavy rice-based cultures. And so those are places you can go. So if you go into Cafe Cusco, another great thing about Cafe Cusco is if you happen to be vegetarian or vegan, they have more support for vegetarian and vegan cuisine than your average place would, because there's normally more vegetarian, vegan slash options at a place like Cafe Cusco. And they even do what's called a meatless Monday, although it's no longer necessarily on just on Mondays, but it's a buffet they were doing. Now, of course, most places aren't doing buffets at the moment, but during normal operating time, they did the meatless Monday buffet, uh, which, like I said, is now being spread out to more than just Mondays. But for people who want to do the vegetarian and vegan lifestyles, not that it's my own personal preference, but I do have several friends that do enjoy the vegan lifestyle for one reason or another, and each person's reason for those kind of lifestyles is, of course, their own. And I choose not to um, discriminate against that. And So, if you do enjoy the vegan lifestyle, uh, then Cafe Cusco is for you there as well. Let's see, all these, all these. Yeah. Hold on, I don't want all. I want X. I want 11. Then I want 11 of this one. Oh, actually, I wanted 12. I was doing it wrong still. Oops. Did not mean the shrimp. I meant the copper. But yeah, if you go to Cafe Cusco, you can enjoy delicious veg. And I'm not vegan by any means, but I do enjoy their vegan creations. I did go to one of their Meatless Mondays to try it out, even though I personally could not be a vegan for medical reasons, being a kidney failure patient. But um, their Meatless Monday selections were delicious, flavorful, variety. You weren't stuck eating just a couple of things that just tasted like paste, which is what a lot of people, I think, fear they're going to get when they eat purely vegan creations. Um, and like I said, that is by no means the case. Um, there's a rich tradition of vegan cuisine out there. 11, 12. Oh, I don't want. Oh, okay. That's the last of the 10 that I have. But you can use it. And like I said, you can take the bottom of your receipt, take that into Chabom's Tea and Spices, and they will give you 10% off your order at Chabom's. And then, of course, you can get the discount card for Van Gogh's at Chabom's. Go to Van Gogh's and eat, and take your receipt back from from Van Gogh's and again get the 10% discount at Chabam. So back and forth. And at different times, the discount card will no longer be for Van Gogh's. It'll go back to Cafe Cusco. It'll kind of alternate, but Van Gogh's being their newest restaurant currently has their main support right now. So, okay, let's see. What is my smithing now? 13. Okay. Okay, so I need to up my smithing, which is okay because I can do that by smithing some stuff now. Because smelting's only going to get you so far. Here, need my hammer. That's right. Need my hammer. I can drop that off. There we go. Get all my bronze. Let's do some bronze smithing. Let's see here. What's the highest skill I can do? I think the kite shield might be the bronze wire. Let's try the bronze wire though. Bronze wire gave me 12. Kite shield gives me, yeah, kite shield's better. Of course, kite shield does use up 3 bars where the wire only used 1 bar, but kite shield is faster too. Let's see, put the bronze wire away and put that all. There, I got my smithing at 15. Keep doing the kite shields. Because I can now smith iron bars. But I've got a bunch of iron bars too. So let's see what I've got for iron bars. So it might be more worthwhile to smith iron bars than it is to, what do we got here? Those are steel bars. Those are iron bars. Let's take the iron bars. See what I can smith out of those before I make any more. Okay, let's see. What could I make? Looks like for iron, all I can make is daggers. And as it unlocks new things, I'll make the new things. Here we go. Now, what can I make? Bronze plate legs, bronze plate shirts, and iron axes. Okay. So let's switch to iron axes. This way I'm going to kind of speed level my smithing a little bit. I'm back up to 5 viewers too, which means it's going to increase my average. People are still welcome to say hi, so I know you're there. I know who's viewing, but I know some of you might just have it on in the background, as it were. Um, Nope, somebody said hi though. LCW123. How's the grind going? Grind? Hey, it's grind. You know, how good can it be? You know, I mean, I don't mind it. It is the grind. It is what it is. Uh, Grinding is kind of part and parcel for what you do in these games. So that's what I'm doing. I'm grinding. Let's see here. It did say I could do a couple more things with bronze. So let's see if there's anything I can do with 2 bronze bars that I couldn't do before. Then I'll go back and I'll smelt some iron now that I'm high enough level smithing to smelt iron. There's some kind of bronze leggings that I just opened up. Let's see. Chain body, medium helm, bolts, limbs, arrows, plate legs. Those are 3 bars, I only have 2. So let's go ahead and just do some wire. Alrighty. Oh, what else you got to say? Hey man, how young are you? I look older than the hills, but I am actually only 49. Looks like we're up to 6 viewers now too, by the way. So that's good to know too. Yeah, no, I'm 49 years old. I've been playing these games though for longer than most kids have been alive that have played the games. I was a beta tester on EverQuest. I used to play RuneScape back in 2001 when it first came out, 2001, 2002, just to give you an example of some of the differences. Now, I don't remember how my characters was back then because I get quizzed a lot of times. People ask us, "What was your character like? Do you have any of the good gear that you used to have? What level did you used to get to?" Don't remember. Let's see here. I don't look a month over 30. Well, I am, in fact, 49. I thank you for the month over 30 comment, although I've been often told I look ancient. Thanks so much. Um, I am in world 350, partly because the looking at the world view screen is hell on my eyes, so I try to just go as simple as possible. I know where the 350 is in the thing. I know it's a members world. It was the first one recommended to me when somebody gifted me a bond of membership. So it's the one I use. Let's see here. I want now, let's see. This is iron ore. Okay. But I am in world 350. Uh, it is just the easiest one for me to go around in because I know where it is on the list without, because I can't really focus on that world select screen too easily with my eyesight the way it is. It's harder for me to look through, but I know where that one is. And so that's the one I always go to. Oh, somebody wants to borrow me for a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Please help me. Let's see. Talk to the beekeeper. You're not the person I need. Can I borrow you for a minute? Go back to iron bars. Let's see what it says here. What do you want to trade? Got it over. Are you in the channel with me? I mean, if so, I can do trade. What are we trading for? Let's see. Trade with. See. The player is busy at the moment. So you want to donate something for you. Okay, well, let's move over here so we can see each other. Let's see. I'll go right here. Where are you? And look here. Is it SandJS? Is that you? SandJS? Uh, yes. So you want to trade with me? So let's trade with SandJS. Let's see what you got there. Oh, some money. Thanks. Oh, and some other goodies. 2,000 iron bars and a ring of forging. Ooh, what does that do? But you give me 100 of those. That's nice. That's gonna help quite a bit with my leveling up my smithy skill. And the money, of course, is always helpful. 500,000 in gold is nothing to sneeze at. Oh, let's see. What do we got here? Help you when smelting iron bars. Okay. Making iron is 100%. Oh, okay. So, in other words, I want to take one of those rings and put it on my character right now. Let's see. Ring of forging. What is that? My ring of wealth. Let's put my ring of wealth in the thing. And then let's go ahead and get all the iron. And go back to. I know he gave me a bunch of iron bars, but I still want to play with the forging of the bars. Now that you gave me the ring. 100% over 50% is much better. Does it help with the steel too? Because that's what I'm working towards is forging steel. I assume it probably helps with all forging since it just said ring of forging. Although it may not give it the same percentage of steel as it does to iron. I can understand that. Only helps with iron bars. Okay. Well, it's still good to know. That means that I just, when I go to do steel bars, I'll have the ring of wealth on instead. 18, nice. It's a kitty kitty. I look young, low to mid 30s. Yep, nope, I'm actually 49, and I've always been told I look younger, I mean older than my age. Of course, I also had a boy wonder syndrome, so that was part of it too. Um, you're so wholesome. You have gotten a follow from me. Well, thank you. Oh, it looks like my followers are actually up to 45, and my viewers is up to 7. That's great. Thank you so much, people. It's helping me quite a bit in my road to affiliate. I need 5 more followers to hit the 50 mark. I need an average of 3 viewers, and the 7 people in the channel right now is going to help with that. Something is talking here. Something was too efficient. Not sure what that was. But yeah, but I want to thank people for following me. Oh, I'm up to 46 followers and 9 viewers. Wow, we're doing some major growth here. That's really going to help me out a lot. Um, and here I was thinking about possibly going away for a nap soon, but not when I have viewers right now. Uh, and I mean, and I'm just grinding, which is what's surprising me about this, is I'm just doing a slow grind. and yet I'm getting people to view me and help me out during a grind. This is, as somebody had told me before, this is a wonderful community. Everybody is very supportive here. I will have to give it that. Everybody tries to support each other. I've been given a couple of bonds so that I can have work on the membership worlds. People have given me monies, which has helped me start work on my house and actually up my skills a little bit faster and get better equipment. Yes, no go have a nap. I can do the nap a little bit later. I mean, this is actually the best. Uh, Other than when I had a raid, this is the best attendance I've had in my channel, and so I don't want to just give up on that right now. Having 9 people in the channel is hella cool. I had a raid where somebody brought 10 in, so I had a total of 11 people in my channel for a little bit, for about a half hour one night that helped. Uh, but it does help. Every little bit helps when you're building towards affiliate. Hey, buddy, this is Miles Betta. How you doing? Sod said to pop by. Not sure who Sod is, but thank him for me. It must be one of my other people. Make sure to drop a follow. That'll help me out quite a bit. Although we're getting much closer to my goal of 50 followers, and this is all helping my stream. So help me out quite a bit. Uh, oh, we're up to 47 followers now. That's a huge jump for me to get so many followers all in just one stream. We're doing really good there. Thank you so much, guys. Um, as I said, my stream is partly, I mean, I'm not sponsored by anybody, so don't take this as a commercial interlude necessarily, but I do support, as you can see on my site, Extra Life. And specifically, since I'm in Springfield, Missouri, the Extra Life that I'm supporting goes to the Cox Medical Network in Springfield, Missouri. They help children that are stuck in hospital type conditions where they don't get to go home and be with their families through the Children's Miracle Network. And the best part about Extra Life is the funds go to your local neighborhood. So whoever is running the particular charity drive gets to designate which hospital network and which area that they're helping in. And my Extra Life helps with the Cox Medical Network in Springfield, Missouri, where I'm currently located. I do myself have kidney failure. So I have end-stage renal disease. I am a disabled person, so I understand there are a lot of kids with renal failure, among other conditions, in the hospitals that are dealing. I've also talked to some friends that have worked with other charities that do things like helping them to get video game systems and stuff to help them cope when they're stuck in these long-term hospital care facilities. Um, I try to help with Extra Life, which does an annual game day, which I'm gearing up for. I'm hoping to have full affiliate by then. November 7th is game day this year. And what I want to do is support Extra Life by streaming for the Extra Life kids. Um, and that's one of my kind of soft sponsorships. I have no sponsors, but I myself am also a part of a local group that runs a gaming convention here in Springfield called the Gaming Arts Media Entertainment Expo. Now, we didn't have a live convention this year because of coronavirus. And in fact, all of our conventions in town have been canceled because of coronavirus. And I do get involved with all of them because I'm a cross promotion director for our convention, which means one of my jobs is to go to other conventions to help promote ours. But what we do with Eclectic Endeavors, we're part of a 501c3, which is a nonprofit organization. And in this case, the 501c3 we're part of is called the Springfield Regional Art Council. So we're under that umbrella. And what we do is we put on gaming conventions and other gaming events to promote the nerd hobbies that are and their education behind them, all the educational benefits and everything to these nerd hobbies. I mean, to promote the fact that our people who are making these costumes and these props and doing these makeup designs, they're doing it themselves. They're not buying these costumes off the rack. They're actually making them themselves. So these kids can grow up to be people who work for Jim Henson Studios, Industrial Light and Magic, um, George Lucas. Uh, they're going to work. They may do the next Freddy Krueger makeup, or they might develop the next setting for the next Star Wars like epic, or they might draw the next epic comic book like Todd McFarlane, or be a voiceover actor. So these nerd subcultures is now actually becoming professions as well as being beneficial in that it teaches uh, thinking outside the box, working together, teamwork, and acceptance more than anything else. And so I'm part of this eclectic endeavors group that puts on these things. So I go out to like libraries and game stores and I do talks on Dungeons and Dragons, and we might teach people how to paint miniatures, or do talks about other role playing games and the benefits of it, or we might teach board games and card games, or art classes, things of that nature. But the whole thing is we're trying to promote everything in the gaming and nerd subgenre. I also support actually separately on my own behalf, I support the local karaoke community, which is another nerd subcommunity. But that's the whole thing is my shows are kind of brought to you by this dedication to um, doing these. Oh, I don't know what I did there. Get back in there. I want to build bars still. But my shows are kind of dedicated to that. If I'm half as handsome as you by your age, surely I'll be a popular ladies' man. Well, thank you very much. Game Note RS. I assume the RS is for RuneScape, but could be for something else. But thank you so much for saying that, Game Note RS. We are still at 9 viewers and 47 followers. This is actually turning out to be a really great stream for me, guys. Thank you so much. I do apologize if the quote unquote public service messages and channel were a bit much, but I am going to post the Extra Life link for my Extra Life campaign. Also, just to let you know, I don't always just stream RuneScape. I am an alpha tester for a game called Fractured, and I'm posting that in channel 2 um, because my normal scheduled times. I'm going to put my schedule up real quick on the screen to help people out. These are my normal streaming times. These are all in Central Standard Time. So Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I schedule stream 9 p.m. to midnight nostalgia gaming. Also on Tuesdays from 5 to 7, and on Saturdays and Sundays from noon to 3. I do nostalgia gaming. And these are all the times when I could be playing old school or new RuneScape. I could also be playing Final Fantasy X or Dark Cloud 1 or 2, Ape Escape, Dragon's Lair. There's other games I might play during these times, but it's my nostalgia gaming show. Then I also do an RPG college from 7 to 9 on Tuesdays, and again from 3 to 5 on Sundays, where I talk tabletop role playing games. And then my only other scheduled show is from 9 to 11 p.m. on Tuesdays, when I simulcast for Left Claw Studios, where they stream to their Facebook and YouTube channel, and then I just simulcast it to Twitch, Xbox, Steam, and PlayStation games of various varieties. So it's just some generic game streaming. But any of those shows, when I'm alpha testing Fractured, instead of doing these shows, I will be doing my stream of my alpha testing of Fractured too. So just to let people know, if you're interested in the new Fractured MMO, which is an isometric sandbox MMO out there, follow the link that I had the bot post in channel. Uh, on the 16th of July is when the alpha test server will open again. And from the 16th until whenever they close the alpha test for the current testing phase, all of my shows except for the RPG College will be superseded by me playing Fractured. And then I do play additional time, like right now, that's unscheduled. This was an unscheduled show. I just popped in for a little while, and it just turned out to be a really popular show for me today. But isn't that always how it is? It's the unscheduled shows that seem to get all the attention. Let's see. As long as you don't play RuneScape 3, we're good. I do sometimes play RuneScape 3, but the purpose of it is to compare and contrast the two games. I play actually more old school RuneScape than I do RuneScape 3, partly because I've got members access for old school RuneScape because of the bonds I was given, and partly because I've got more invested in the game than I do. But I do like to contrast the two games. And so, let's see, what is my current smithing level? Uh, 20. What do I need in order to smith steel bars? I think I need a 30 to smith steel bars. So, let's see. Um, so let's get a full batch of those again. Yeah, but I do sometimes stream RuneScape 3, but it's for comparison purposes. Uh, yeah, I don't like buying experience in a game. Um, I don't mind paying for some of the grindy materials sometimes, but I'm not buying an experience in the game. I'm not into pay to win. The gold that people give me, I usually use for raw materials and stuff to help me in grinding and to get um, slightly better crafting equipment. But I try to avoid, like, for instance, I do not go on to the wikis and read all of the guides. I don't want to do that. I'd rather find out a lot of it for myself. And now it does frustrate some of my viewers, though they get real frustrated when I don't follow their advice. um, and do what they think is the most efficient way to do things, because that's just not me. I'm rather to go out and experience it myself and make some of my own mistakes. Uh, Hi, iGenie, welcome here. It says you know how to play an RPG. Well, I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for 42 years, if that gives you an idea of how long I've been actually real RPGing. I've been RPGing since my 7th birthday when I first received the OD&D set. I spend a lot of time on Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop role-playing games before I segued into computer games. And then the first big MMORPG was the first MMO that came out that I played, other than MUDs, because I did play in MUDs and a lot of BBS games like Arena. But then when the first graphical MUD kind of came out, which was Ultima Online, I played Ultima Online. And then I played RuneScape back in 2001, 2002 when it first came out. And so I have been doing these MMOs for a long time. And then I beta tested EverQuest and Neverwinter's Night and Planescape Torment and a few of those games, including one of the World of Darkness games that came out. Um, I was on the beta test team for some of those. So I have been playing these kind of games for a very, very long time, both tabletop and computer. And that's why I'm involved with like the Fractured MMO, uh, the beta test. because I do enjoy beta testing these games, especially, and I love an isometric or skill based game more than a strictly level based game. That's a lot of fun for me to go out and play those kind of games. So even though this the skill thing might be a heavy grind, and let's see. Oh, my ring of forging melted. Hold on a second. I need to put on a new ring of forging. Uh, let's see. One, one is one is. There we go. Okay. Uh, this, 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 uh, uh, switch it back to all so I don't forget. There. Go back to Ring of Forging. I do want to thank you for the 100 Rings of Forging. That is helping me quite a bit in my forging endeavors. It does help in the grind. People helping me out is great. This is a wonderful, helpful community. I have to say that. I have, I mean, most of the money and funds that I do have in the game and my membership bond came from people that came into my stream and helped me out. So I do want to thank you for that. They're a very welcoming community. It is nice to be back to the game after so many years. I had completely forgotten about the game after years and years of playing things like WoW and EverQuest and Guild Wars 1 and 2 and Knights of the Old Republic and games of that nature. And to come back to the game and feeling so wholeheartedly welcome is a great experience. So I do thank people for that. Let me take a look. Now, please keep in mind I am monitoring chat on my cell phone because I do not have dual monitor support right now. I'm on a laptop at my kitchen table because I live in a small trailer park. I'm working to eventually build up to the dual monitor support system, but that means I don't see your stuff immediately. I do have to switch and look at the phone. Uh, let's see, but yeah, man, you can really tell the experience in the way you approached RPGs. Big respect, Godmother. Click on the setting, then advanced option. Click on the roofs. So as you click on the furnace. Dragonkin, great weapons fighter here as a Neverwinter's player. Oh, great. Yeah, I love Neverwinters. I haven't played the original. I'm talking Neverwinter's Night is the one I beta tested. I did play Neverwinters, the one that is on the Perfect World server. That's for 4th edition Dungeons and Dragons rules, and I did like the 4th edition, unlike some people who did not like it. Um, Now, was it as you said to check on settings? Um, Advanced options, and look at this. See, resizing mode, stat panel. This is the uh, hide roofs. Okay, that will help. Thank you for that. That's a tip I didn't know. That does help. Uh, See something. Oh, from the bank. I think that was continuation of the stuff from this. But yeah, that does help by getting rid of roofs. Speeds thing up a little bit, so I can do this broad pan out thing, which really helps when you're grinding. Because I can go back and forth this way, and then I can zoom in closer to see if anybody says anything for you. Don't tell me my ring melted again. No. Okay, it didn't. I just see the ring melted thing still is the most recent thing on my post, but it didn't, so that's good. Uh, I'll have to go after I finish smithing all this iron. I'm gonna have to go make some iron in the at the anvil to raise my smithing skill even further. Hello, Game Note. Hello, in game. Good to see you there. I see actually that you said hi. A lot of times I don't have the public chat on in the game, partly because there's so much random notices going through. Let's see, now I can make iron full helms, and members can make iron throwing knives. Okay, I think iron throwing knives is the next thing I want to make anyway. And that's probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to teleport to Varrock and make iron throwing knives at the anvil here after a minute, because I think that's going to raise my smithing skill higher than this forging has been doing now that I've mostly forged most of my ore. So let's go ahead and teleport to Varrock. Oh, let's see. Somebody just did something. Sassy raid, huh? Sassy raid, sassy raid, sassy raid. Sassy Angel has raided my channel. Woohoo. It's a raid. I'm not sure who all they brought with them for the raid, but it says Sassy Raid. I just only have 8 viewers right now on the channel, but I'm at to 49 followers, so that's helped somehow. 801 total views. But a lot to keep up with here. So if I miss something, that's sorry. See, Dem Classics, we rated your server. Gib, UJALOF, GUR money. Gib, all of your money. Okay. Sassy raid, sassy raid, sassy raid. Calm down. At Dem Classics. Sassy. Okay. Oh, now my viewers is up to 66 because of this raid, and I'm at my 50 followers. So thank you guys. I've made my 50 followers. Now, depending on how long I keep this stream going with 66 viewers right now, I might even make my affiliate this time. So thank you so much for the raid. It's been really helpful. I'm up to 55 followers. Thank you guys. It's hard to even keep track of the chat now. Just to let people know who just came in, I am not using dual monitor support, so I am monitoring chat via my cell phone. And of course, my eyesight's not the best. So I do have to put my glasses on to look at the chat screen on the cell phone. I had just teleported to Varrock because I'm going to do some training now of smithing by smithing some iron throwing knives. Let's see. So I want to take and put one of those back, grab the hammer, because I think that's going to be the more efficient way to train now. I've just been grinding skills. It's amazing to me, though, how much even just grinding skills, though, I've had such a wonderful community support with this. That's something that's really great to see. Let's see, where are the throwing knives? Iron, nails, long swords, javelins. Here we go. Knives. Let's make the iron throwing knives because that should be the most efficient use for skill. Now let's look back at the chat that I'm having trouble following as it is. From Sassy Stream, hey, Timmy, thanks for coming over from Sassy Stream. I do appreciate it, Sassy. You're my new favorite person. I'm up to 57 followers, 66 viewers. Oh, I love those rainbow hearts. We're in full support of the rainbow culture here, so definitely I love those rainbow hearts. Game note. Zandlino, welcome. Godmother still loves seeing all the hearts and different emojis. Uh, Carol Muffles Sprout, nice to see. I don't know what that GG is, but it's great. Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't escape me. I'm the Dimmick Classic Man. It's like the gingerbread man. Yes, Sassy is the best, and so are you. Well, thanks so much. I'm down to 42 viewers now, but that's okay. I expect that when a raid happens. I'm at 801 views, 57 followers, though, guys. Thank you so much. Sassy Angel is a sweetie pie. Um, it's kind of funny because my girlfriend's nickname is also Angel. She's Angel Gal, though, not Sassy Angel, but it's. Uh, uh, I know, right? Fortnite is so rage. Why? Uh, oh, it's so hard to follow those good names. GG, good game. Okay, great. That's what the good GG stands for. Excellent. Yeah, I'm new to streaming games because I just started streaming in April. I mean, before that, most of my streaming experience was Critical Role. I streamed a lot of Critical Role stuff, but other than that, let's see. Actually, let's get rid of these right now. I don't need those either. So I went on Critical Role and I went on to the D&D Beyond uh, Twitch servers, and that's where I mostly got a lot of my streaming experience. I never was one to watch like Markiplier or Ninja or any of them stream, so I'm not as invested in the streaming culture as I am in the MMO culture. I've always been a big MMO fan. Let's see, what else can I make now? Iron Square Shield and members can make iron crossbow limbs. Okay, let's do that then. Iron crossbow limbs is probably going to be the most efficient thing to do. Crossbow limbs. That would be bolts. Um, as iron limbs. Oh wait, would it be that? I think it's those limbs is what they mean for the higher experience rate. You're just looking fire. Thanks. I'm very happy with my beard. I have Discord. Yes, I don't use it a whole lot, but I do have it. I have to go. Bye, Sue. So I'll be sure to watch again. Thanks for coming by, Zandino. Looking forward to it. Yes, I do have Discord. Don't use it a whole lot, but I am on a couple of Discord servers. It's actually my least favorite program on the internet, but I do use it for a couple of things that I need to use it. I've been on Twitch a long time. Sometimes I understand people's language. Yeah, only sometimes. Um I don't understand people. Sometimes I don't understand. Yeah, I get you that too. If you make knives, you can use them to train on monsters later. They'll give them a double purpose in smithing XP and ranging XP. Yeah, and somebody actually gave me 1,000 throwing knives before. So there is that. Yeah, so that does give them a double purpose. I totally see that. And like I said, somebody gave me like 1,000 of the throwing knives earlier when I was training my range during the time when I was trying to get up and just do the basic adventure paths. But I can see where that comes in as the way to do it. But the crossbow, I'm trying right now to just level as fast as possible, so I'll go ahead and make the limbs because I do have plenty of the knives. But I'll keep that in mind for their dual purpose is great. Um, uh, Smithfield XP and Region XP. Let's see. Okay, my friend, I have to go to an appointment. Okay, well, you have a good time, Dim Classics. Goodbye, my friend. This is the end. Uh, what is this game called? Is Cyrus Martinez? I think it's Cyrus Martinez. This is called Old School RuneScape. Keep it real, Dim's Classic. See, what do we got now? You can now make iron warhammers. So let's go ahead and make iron warhammers now. Iron warhammers. Takes more bars though, but it should be worth. Oh yeah, 75 experience. That's good. You too, my bro. Yep, absolutely. Thanks so much, guys. We still got 33 viewers in channel. I'm up to 58 followers. Um, you guys are helping my stream out immensely today, guys. I went from almost going to take a nap. It always seems like because this is only the second raid I've ever had. The other raid was only 10 people came over, and it was right before I was going to go offline to take a nap, and it was at midnight at my time here. Here it's about 2:30 in the afternoon, but I've got chronic fatigue syndrome, and I only sleep like an hour at a time mostly, so I do have to go take hours in the middle of the day to take quick power naps of 30 minutes to an hour because I can, like I said, only usually sleep for about an hour at a time. Sometimes I'm lucky to get 15 minutes of sleep in. So, but yeah, it always seems to be that the raids come in when I'm about to go offline, and I had been here now. Uh, but this raid came in, and it's really great, guys. I appreciate it immensely. You have no idea. Um, for my goal of trying to make affiliate, you guys are. I think you might have just done it in a single swoop. Um, once I get my stream report, I will probably have the affiliate now with this, just because I'm managing to keep over 30 people in going for even an hour, uh, even based on the amount that I'm trying to stream lately. Because I am, of course, streaming more because one of the things recommended to me in order to get my viewership up higher was to stream as much as possible, and that's what I am trying to do. But you guys are amazing. Um, okay, nobody else has really said anything since Dim Classic, which is okay because I was having a hard time keeping up with the chat. Used to be able to keep up with a bunch of chats all at once. That was back in when I was an MIRC moderator for some roleplay channels. Back then, I could keep 8 or 10 or 12 chats going at once and bounce between them and keep up with all of them. But I'm not as young as I used to be, and I'm not. My eyesight's not as good. For one thing, I used to have perfect eyesight, but I've had diabetic retinopathy and cataracts. In fact, for 2 years, I was almost completely blind. I still managed to play some Dungeons and Dragons, but I was almost completely blind for 2 years, and then I had surgery. My left eye is still mostly useless, but my right eye is almost 20/20 now with reading glasses. And then my close in vision is the one that suffers the most. So I do need reading glasses. But for the most part, oh, I haven't put everything away yet. I forgot. Uh, for the most part, I can see pretty well out of the right eye now. My girlfriend still says I'm half blind, but that's her issue, not mine. Obviously, I'm perfect. Uh, but yeah, keeping up with this chat is something I'm not used to anymore. How long have you been streaming? I have been streaming in months. I've been streaming since April, In today's stream, I've now been going for 3 hours and 17 minutes. I'm going to go, my friend. It is 3 a.m. for me here. All right, Just Fly High. Thanks. I don't know where you're at. If it's 3 a.m., you're probably somewhere uh, on the other side of the planet, like Australia, New Zealand area, which total props for that. If I could live anywhere else in the world other than where I live now, it would probably be Australia, New Zealand. So I can give you total props for that. But if you're somewhere else, that's cool too. I can understand being tired though, so go get some sleep. Yep, 3 hours is what is. It is 5:30 a.m. in Australia. Yep. Okay. So it's 15 hours difference in Australia because it's 2:30 here. Well, 2:36. But yeah, I'm from New Zealand. If you ever come over, I'll DM and provide mead. Hey, I'm totally down with that. I love honey. I'm not a beer person, but I do like mead, and I'm totally down for DMing and playing in a New Zealand game of Dungeons and Dragons or any other role playing game you could possibly imagine. I'm down for that. That sounds like a party to me. And New Zealand. Now, I haven't said it in this show, which is kind of surprising because I say it a lot. But I'm a chef. I love to cook, and some of the best produce in the world comes in from Australia and New Zealand, especially lamb and seafood. And so I'd love to get over there and try to cook some of your New Zealand lamb and maybe get a nice big John Dory and cook it for you. So you provide the kitchen and show me where to get the produce, and I will turn it into some wonderful food. Oil lantern frames now looks like is going to be the big thing that'll probably give me the most oil lamp frames. I assume that's this. So yeah, I will come in and play that. See you guys. 2:37 where I'm at. So Cyrus Martinez, you are in the same time zone as me, Central Time. No, I do not play Fortnite. Aimbot. Um, I am not a Fortnite player. Not even fully sure what all Fortnite entails because I've just not gone into it. Is that a first person shooter? I'm just not a player, so I'm not sure about it. Um, I've not experimented. When I do play on the PlayStation 4, which is my preferred console of choice, I do not play Xbox at all. But if I do play on the PlayStation 4, right now, the main things I'm playing over there are Final Fantasy X, because I got the remastered 10 and 10.2. I play some Dark Cloud 1 and 2. I play Elder Scrolls Online, Skyrim, maybe some Diablo 3, um, and Monster Hunter World. And I just barely started on Monster Hunter World, so I'm not very experienced at all at it. In fact, I haven't really got a chance to really sit down and play a whole lot yet. I got it for Christmas, but I haven't really dove all the way into it. I've actually been playing more online with my computer lately with the RuneScape, old school RuneScape, like today, and alpha testing a game called Fractured, the MMO. And let me go ahead and share a couple of links in channel. Um, this is the MMO that I'm currently alpha testing, and it'll be an alpha test again this month on the 16th. And then from then on, all of my streaming will be superseded by alpha testing for a bit. The other thing I'm sharing in channel is my Extra Life support page because I do support the Extra Life charity, which is good because it's part of the Children's Miracle Network. It helps kids that are hospital bound Um, they get stuck a lot of times with things like cancer, muscular dystrophy, end-stage renal disease. Uh, they're immunocompromised, so they're often stuck in the hospital. They don't get to be around their families. This is especially true in regards to the time with coronavirus, where they've been very limiting on visitors, and so the Children's Miracle Network helps out a lot of these kids, and I like to help them. So I do kind of sponsor my stream through Extra Life, because I what Extra Life does is it's gamers and other streamers and nerds supporting it by doing basically a game day stream every year that's specifically for the charity, and then it goes to your local chapter of the charity, not a big national chapter. So you get to determine when you set up your promotion page who you want your promotion to support. Iron kite shields, okay. And I support currently the Children's Miracle Network here in Springfield, Missouri through the Cox medical system. In fact, I just got out of the hospital Tuesday from that, because I was in the hospital actually, I got out Monday, but I was in the hospital from Thursday night last week because I had a swollen foot and I thought it might be infected. Turned out to just be water retention, because I am a renal patient. I cannot get rid of excess water, so I have to do dialysis treatment 3 days a week. And if I do get excess water, it can sometimes gravitate to my limbs, which is where it caused my feet to swell up. But the last time my feet swelled up like that, it was an infection. And so, just to be safe, we'd gone into the ER. In fact, I had been in the middle of streaming and I'd stopped just to get my bandage changed, because I do have an open wound on my foot. And I had stopped my stream to get my bandage changed, go to the bathroom and everything. And we'd noticed the swelling. We cut my stream short and went to the ER, and they kept me all the way through till Monday. And they wanted to keep me another day to monitor my sugar levels because I'm a diabetic. But in the hospital, I actually got my blood sugars down. Monday morning, they were down to 33, which, if you know anything about high and low blood sugar, that's drastically low. And that's because they didn't give me enough food in the hospital because of my hypermetabolism. So, long story short, yeah, I had to get out of the hospital. I actually had to leave AMA, which is against medical advice this time, because of the fact that they wanted to keep me to monitor my sugars. Yet it was their poor monitoring of my sugars that caused the problem in the first place. So I was not staying there for that. But they had confirmed that the swelling in my leg was just fluid retention. And so I was relieved to hear that. And that mainly does goes to show, though, that I do use the Cox network, and I am familiar with people like with end-stage renal disease, like some of the kids on the Children's Miracle Network, which is how I segued to this in the first place. And the Children's Miracle Network helps the kids in your local area, not some big national fund, but it comes down to the local area and it helps out there, so your funds are going to people in your area. Not that helping people in other areas is a bad thing, but it is nice to see something that actually helps the local area as well. Let's see. Did somebody say anything? Oh, just fly high. You didn't go to sleep. You didn't have to. Look, I'm getting ready to get off line myself. So please, if you need to go get some sleep, I don't want to see you lose sleep over this. I know it's late at night there. It's 2:45 p.m. here, and I'm getting ready to take a nap myself. So I don't blame you at all for wanting to sleep. Um, in fact, I've already been on like an hour and something longer than I was going to be on, because you guys all came in, and I'm so grateful for it. But we're down to 18 viewers now, so we're starting to slow down. I'm at 58 followers. You guys have all been wonderful. Um, you make it really hard to leave for me. And I don't want you guys to just keep coming back because that'd make me really feel bad if you should be getting your sleep because it's in the middle of your night there. Uh, so I'm probably going to cut it short. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set it that at 3 o'clock, no matter what, I'm going to get offline because I got to go take at least a little bit of a nap before I go to dinner with my girlfriend because every Thursday we go to dinner. It's date night for us, and it's always important to keep up your date nights, guys. Doesn't matter what, if she says it's not important, it still is. Uh,
And date nights don't have to be like, oh my God,
you're now, yeah. And like my girlfriend says, date night doesn't have to be, oh my God, and go throw a bunch, but it is nice to actually have your date night and go out and do something regular together with your significant other. There is more information available from the Smithing Apprentice Tutor in Lumbridge. Okay. But yeah, it is important to keep up your date nights. Um, and I know that there are some girlfriends out there that is going to tell you, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's not important. Uh, we don't need to worry about it." And they'll sacrifice their date nights and hogwash. It's important. You want to keep those kind of things up, even if all you do is go to a simple dinner once a week with your significant other, or watch a movie, or go walk in the park, or go window shopping at the mall or at a strip mall or something like that. It is important that you do stuff with your significant other and you don't let your various hobbies and stuff, because it's okay to do several things together, but you do want to do things apart. But you don't want your apart things to act like they're competing with your significant other. You want them to be important in your life too. So, and I sound preachy, but it's important to me that I do these kind of things. And my girlfriend knows it, and I think she appreciates it. Cyrus Martinez, I'm going to keep watching stream until you get off. Um, that's okay. Like I said, I'm gonna set myself to get off at 3 o'clock, hell or high water, just because if I don't do that, I'll stay. I mean, you guys will keep coming in. We're at 19 viewers now, so we've come down a little bit. That's okay. I'm at 58 followers. I should have my affiliate program no problem now. I want to thank you guys so much for that. I've talked about all kinds of different things. Some of it was interesting, some I'm sure just bored you to tears. But I love the sound of my own voice, as my girlfriend will tell you over and over again. Um, so it's hard to make me shut up once I start talking. Um, and so I do appreciate you guys, and I'll talk on every kind of subject imaginable. As I mentioned, for my New Zealanders out there, if I ever get a chance to visit New Zealand and I get to come visit you guys, I will be totally cooking for you. Um, see, that's 25, but uses 1 bar. And I think the Kite Shield is 75, it uses 3 bars. So it's coming out to the same experience. Um, I know that none of this iron and bronze stuff sells really good at the exchange. So I'm really not doing this for funds as much as I'm just doing it for the skill leveling. But I'm about to hit level 32, which is another one of my goals for today. So thanks a lot for that, because that's going to allow me to smelt steel, which was kind of the goal of this. I wasn't expecting to get to it necessarily today, but you guys have sped me through this. I mean, I'm surprised. All I've been doing is grinding skills, so I'm not even doing anything really interesting other than talking to you guys. But you guys coming in and supporting me like this has really helped. There's my 30 skill level now. You can now make steel daggers. I can now make steel daggers. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to go back to the knives to finish it up a little bit, because that also gives me 25 experience for 1 bar, and it gives me 5 knives each, and I can actually use the knives later on. Are you going to stream tomorrow? Okay. Well, I'm going to put my schedule up on the board again real quick here. And Cyrus Martinez, you are actually in my time zone because you said it's the same time for you as it is for me. I'm in Missouri. I don't know where you are. But here's my schedule. Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 p.m. to midnight, I stream on schedule here with Nostalgia Gaming. And then Tuesdays from 5 to 7 and Saturday and Sundays from noon to 3 for Nostalgia Gaming. Those are all times when I could be playing old school RuneScape or RuneScape 3. Then I also do my RPG College show from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Tuesdays and from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sundays. And that's where I talk about tabletop role playing games like Dungeons and Dragons. And then from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Tuesdays, I simulcast another two buddies of mine as they stream PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam games to their channel. And then I simulcast it to Steam, to Twitch, because they're broadcasting to YouTube and Facebook Watch, and then I simulcast it over to Twitch, and they'll be playing different things like Overwatch and games of that nature, and sometimes a little new Steam game will be played, or The Last of Us, or something like that. But they play that, and those are all of my scheduled times. Now, in addition to that, I did tell a friend of mine in Australia that I would try to get on and stream for a little bit at 11 to 12 in the morning, so 11 a.m. to 12 noon, and then stream for at least an hour or so tomorrow as well. But I do get back from dialysis right about that time, so I might be a little bit later or earlier when I come on to stream, and I'm not sure how long I'll be streaming then. But I did promise my Australia friend, because among other things, he said that he was going to get a raid going for me then, because he was going to be ending his channel stream. I say he, although I don't think he ever identified if he was male or female. So I do apologize if I got that wrong, because there are female streamers out there, and some of well, actually, I think he is male because his screen name is Smoman. And so with man in the name, I assume he's male. I still could be wrong. But, oh, wait, no, I should take that hammer and do one more batch while I'm here, just before I go. But yeah, so I will be doing some streaming tomorrow, but it is technically an unscheduled stream for me because I don't stream during the day on a schedule as much as I stream in the evenings. Josh Fly High. I'm going now, my friend. Have a great afternoon. I will see you again today as it's 4 a.m. for me now. All right, Josh Fly High. You go get some sleep. I'm going to log off in about 5 minutes myself. Yes, LCW123. I know you don't like RuneScape 3, and I don't play a lot of RuneScape 3. I mainly come on just to do some contrasting between old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3, so to show people the differences. The biggest difference I find is the graphics in RuneScape 3 are better. That's undeniable. These are all, of course, classic retro graphics, though. So if that's what you're after, then you can't really complain about that. So there's nothing wrong with retro graphics. And the other thing about RuneScape 3 is easier to port around because of the waypoint system. So it does make it easier. You don't have to run across the continents all the time, which gets tedious, especially with the low stamina and run speed issue of this game and the limited inventory. And it's nice that they've got the ore boxes and the ore banks, the material banks for the mining in RS3. But otherwise, oh, I also like the more robust combat system where you can build up, different attack sequences. It's not just this, set it to either strength, attack, magic, or defense. You can actually go into a little bit more robustness, I do like that from RS3. But all told, I've got more invested in old school RuneScape and I do play it more of the two. Uh, but it is really, I get a lot of people that say RS3 always totally, they love it. And a lot of people come and say old school RuneScape, they love it, and they hate RS3. Um, you know what? It's a matter of opinion, and it's partly about which one you started with and which one you invested your time with. If you invest a lot of your time in old school RuneScape, then you're not going to want to reinvest the time in new RuneScape 3 necessarily, unless you've got a lot of time to invest and or money. On the other hand, if you've done the same thing with RuneScape 3, you're not going to necessarily want to go back to the retro gaming of old school RuneScape and the retro graphics. But it's all depends on what parts of the game you value. But I'm not going to go ahead and mock anybody for being pro or against either game. I like them both, and I contrast them both. But I probably spend more time in old school RuneScape, partly because, among other things, I've been given a total of 4 bonds in old school RuneScape, as well as some gold to help me along. So I'm a little bit better able to do a few things. You can now make iron plate legs and iron plate skirts. Okay. And let's see, iron plate skirt. Let's do that. All right. I didn't even see how much experience I got for that skirt to see for the 3 bars if it's worth it. So let's go back and do it again. If it's 75, it's basically the same as just getting the throwing knives because they give me 25 for 1 bar and I get 5 knives out of it. So you actually get more usage out of the knives later. But I got to pay attention to how much experience they actually give. Iron plate skirt. It gives 75. Yep, it's just as efficient. It's, I mean, a little bit faster is all, because of course you're doing it 3 at a time instead of 1 bar at a time, but getting 5 in the results. But the usability of the end product is better with the knives. So I'm going to switch back to the knives. It is coming on 2 minutes to 3 o'clock. So I'm going to finish this last batch of bars here, and then I'm going to log off because I set myself a hard limit of logging off at 3 o'clock, guys. I do want to thank you guys for being here. I'm going to send the raid forward to somebody else before I go. So if you hold on, actually, that's what I'll set up next here. Let me see who is on that I think could use a raid. Do I have anybody that could really use a raid? I need to find a channel to raid. Let's see here. Twitch. And let's search for Twitch. Old school RuneScape and see. And let's search for who is playing old school RuneScape that doesn't have a ton of viewers, maybe. Twitch. Old school RuneScape and see. And let's search for who is playing old school RuneScape that doesn't have a ton of viewers. Let's see. H2Z OSR. Okay. Copy. All right. There we go. Let's set that raid channel up. Paste. And he has 72 viewers right now, but we're going to help him out just a little bit. Sending a raid over. Send my 21 viewers there. Thank you, Godmother. It's been really helpful. I'm going to try to help by sending another raid over. Raid, raid, raid. I don't know if... don't have a raid on anything. But I am raiding, guys. And then I'm going to drop out. Let's see. 59 followers. I'm going to go ahead and log out. Now